have a young roster that we're trying to develop and trying to understand and show them what winning looks like. So that's number one.
Godfather. But you're out. Here's our guest.
This is
Skip
the guy.
Shumaker joining us right now, the manager of the Miami Marlins. Skip, do you hear us?
I hear you guys. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Great to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Now, I mean, right off the jump here, we're in Texas, right? So I feel like we're already in the future of what your life's going to look like in a few days in terms of being on a break, all-star break. I feel like we're already in that, even though there's a few games left to go in the first half of the season. Overall picture of evaluating what this has been like for you. We know, I mean, the team's not in the spot where you'd want it to be. It was an amazing run last year to the postseason. Give me one thing really positive and one thing that really makes you angry about the first half of the season.
The positives are, I think the bullpen has been outstanding. Tanner Scott has, really resurrected his career into a guy that is one of the most reliable, dominant closers in the major leagues that you can trust in the toughest pockets of any against any team to start out with last year. And then now it's, he's our ninth inning guy, or get us out of a big late inning jam in the eighth and into the ninth. AJ Puck was, tried to become a starter this year, went back to the bullpen, has been as good as anybody the last few weeks. And Andrew Nardi, and Bender have been really good. So our bullpen has been, one of the bright spots, no doubt about it. I say the frustrating part, again, on the pitching side is, we've been crushed by injury. It started with Sandy last year. Then going into spring training, Yuri had Tommy John. Luzardo went down with the back injury. Braxton Garrett, has something going on in his kind of elbow flexor. So there's just been a number of guys that have been, going down, that have been lost for the majority of the year, that really tested our depth. And then Ryan Weathers, who got a chance, who was doing really well, he went down. So it's been challenging, no doubt about it. But I think a lot of teams have been going through this. We just haven't been very good as of late, and hopefully the second half will be a different story.
Oh, but first of all, I want to say a quote that David Freese let me know. He said, Skip Shumaker has the cutest butt in all of MLB. Okay? Is that still the case as the manager of the Marlins?
Thank you, David. That's not something I thought I was going to hear on the show. So, of all things, Freeze to quote is pretty amazing. I have hopefully my wife thinks that. That's I don't know.
There you go.
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually, that should not surprise you. That A, that comes out of his mouth, and B, that it does pop up on this show. We've done worse.
We've definitely done worse.
Yeah. You gotta bring some, what do they call it? Like some humor, some levity to the first half of the season.
Just reality.
Yeah.
Just reality. All right. Then I'm gonna go to the little bit that Skip and I played together in spring training. And I actually got a ride from Skip. I think you had your surfboard on the truck when I was getting a ride with you. And you talked about not playing anymore. You're like, I think this is it. And I was like, I barely know this guy. And he's telling me, like, this might be it. Like, I could tell you were grinding through it. Now as a manager, because you made it to be a manager, whether or not that was your goal, like, oh, I have to be a manager one day. It's just something that you're freaking good at, clearly. Manager of the year last year. Now that you're there and now that you've seen the things that you've seen, are you glad you're there? Are you glad you're a manager in the big leagues?
I am. So, yeah, it's a funny story. That year in spring training, Rod Barajas was we had a split squad, and Rod Barajas was the manager of the split squad. And I was like 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 in spring training. And I looked at Rod and I said, listen, if I make an out against this guy, I'm done. He thought I meant I was like done for the day. I meant if I can't get a hit off this guy, my career is over. Like, that's when right? Baseball usually tells you when you're done. So, like, I'm like, if that guy is getting me out, that's it. So 3 pitches later, I ground out to second. Rod says, all right, go ahead. You're good. So I call Andy Green that night and I just said, hey, listen, that's it. That's over. It's over. And, we had a long talk. It was really, good conversation. But, that was now Rod's on my staff, which is kind of funny, right? So I told him that he sent me to retirement. But to your, it's scary when you are, thinking about, moving on to the next step. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I talked to my wife. My wife said, I'm not your hobby. Figure something out, right? And so I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So I do know that if you leave the game, baseball will forget about you quick. And so I wanted to stay in the game in some capacity. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I loved the game. I just didn't know what I wanted to become. Luckily, AJ Preller and Andy Green wanted me on in the San Diego Padre organization. Very grateful for that. I got to go around the minor league system, stay around the big leagues a little bit, and I just fell in love with the teachings of the game. It was really hard for me as a player to survive, and I learned so much from so many great players and coaches that I felt like I had enough to give back to help out, and started kind of down that road of special assistant to first base coach to bench coach, and here I am. But it was never my goal to be a manager. I just wanted to be around really good people, keep learning, keep growing, and kind of fell into this, and I absolutely love it. There's no doubt. I love the grind. I love the last year of the wins and getting into the postseason. I love the grind this year when there's you find out who you are when you're up against some adversity and losing, right? That really shows your true colors. So it's been a growing year for me, no doubt about it. But I'm still in the major leagues. I still get to manage one of 30 teams, and that's never lost upon me.
And your son gets to experience it too. I know he was just visiting you. I've seen the highlights on the X. He looks like he's a little bit better than you. But hey, we're not here to discuss scouting reports or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he's a good kid.
It's fun. It's fun to watch. Now you talk about the grind. You talk about the grinds.
The grind. Honestly, the grind of being away. I live in California, so being 3,000 miles away in Miami is tough. I have a 16-year-old son who plays baseball. I miss majority of his games. I have a 14-year-old daughter who plays soccer. I miss the majority of her games during the summer, so that part is difficult. Luckily, I have a really good staff around me that has played for a lot of guys have either coached or played for a long time, and it's really good to have those guys around because you're constantly learning. It's fun to come to the ballpark. We have a new front office that came in. I get to learn from that front office, different from any front office that I've been a part of, and trying to figure out a way to get this thing right. So it's been challenging, but also a very good learning experience for us.
Yeah. Skip, what's up, big dog? Can you hear me?
Hey, I got you, Todd Father.
Finally getting on here, brother. Hope all is well. My question to you is, with the home run derby coming up here, I'm just curious your thoughts on, what's the best home run derby you've ever been to and sat and watched?
Here we go.
I'm just curious. I know you've seen a bunch of them, so I just want to know
Todd. Good question.
What the best one is.
The best one by far, and I would say this even if you weren't on this this podcast, Todd, is yours. Honestly, it was so cool to have a hometown kid in Cincinnati. Brody and I were in the stands watching it in the during the All-Star break, and you winning it was a really special moment for the city and obviously for you and the family. So that was a really, really cool moment.
All right, now I'll get serious with you here. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. But now we're going into the second half here. We got trade deadlines coming up, man. It looks like you guys might be sellers here, so it might be a different look. How is your feelings towards that? And, maybe not. You got a guy like Jazz Chisholm who's hitting a home run on every first pitch of the game. He might be gone. There's a good possibility. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the most dangerous thing you can do as a manager is try to become GM. If you have 26 guys in here that you're trying to get better and trying to win today, no matter what our record is today, And that is what my focus is on, and trying to, we have a young roster that we're trying to develop and trying to understand and show them what winning looks like. So that's number one. Number two, the deadline is the deadline. I'm aware. We've been around a long time. We understand how this thing goes. There are teams that do add for their future also in a position like ours. So I don't really know exactly, what we end up doing. I do know that, we have, some attractive players that I'm sure some teams would want that are, trying to get to the postseason. The goal of a manager and a coaching staff is try to eliminate distractions, trade rumors, off the field stuff, X, Instagram, all that stuff, right? That's what you're trying to eliminate, the BS every day, whether it's up to the trade deadline or anything else that's going on in their lives. This is part of it, right? And I think if people start reading it too much into it, they start focusing on the wrong things. If trades happen, we've all been traded. They happen. There's nothing you can do. I've been traded, right? And so sometimes, that's part of the business. But right now, we're trying to focus on trying to beat the Reds.
So what does that look like? Last night you had a drop fly ball in the outfield. You had a wild pitch and a balk to get a runner in scoring position. What does that look like? What is that conversation from Skip Shumaker the next day or even that night?
Yeah, I'm grateful that I have a great coaching staff that, and I know that there's teaching moments every game. There's teaching moments on winning clubs. There's teaching moments on a club like ours that's in a little bit of a funk right now. John Jay is a really good outfield coach. He has been through the highs and the lows. He was one of the better outfielders as a player, and he's wants to give back and he wants these guys to be great. And so we're not afraid to have those tough conversations. So sometimes they happen right away. Sometimes they happen on the flight. Sometimes they happen over a drink on the flight. Sometimes they happen the next day and kind of a check your ego type of meeting. Whether it's one-on-one or in a group setting. We have no issues of having tough conversations, because at the end of the day, the players want to know where they stand and how to get better. And sometimes that's not an easy conversation, but luckily we have some experience on the staff that we're able to be as direct as possible, because in the end we're just trying to get you to where you want to be, which is a winning player on a winning team. And that's really all I care about. So yeah, we had some stuff that was, that's how you lose games, right? You give teams extra outs, really good teams extra outs. They capitalize, and the Houston Astros absolutely capitalized, and it hurt us. And we've had some tough moments, but some learning lessons along the way. And last night was definitely one of them.
What would you say to a guy if they kind of are like, well, I want out. Like, I want out. I want to go to a
Yeah, first of all, I think you have to be realize where you are and bloom where you're planted, right? One of my good buddies back at home told me that when I first got this job, when I was having a tough time, figuring out how I'm going to do this away from my family. It's like bloom where you're planted. And right now, you are a Miami Marlin, and we're trying to still win games. And I think if you are thinking again about another team or trying to get to the playoffs for and looking at other rosters, you're going to fail, and then the other team's not going to want you anyway. So I think this is just another distraction, and which we're trying to eliminate. But I've always thought about the quote of bloom where you're planted. Right now, you have a job to do for the Miami Marlins, and we are still. Until you're not on our roster, we're still trying to, help us win games. So again, they're rumors, they're trade rumors. Listen, we want to go to the playoffs just as bad as any player wants to go to the playoffs. That's the goal, right? Is you sign up to win. And if you're not doing it, you're not doing your job, including myself. This is not what, we all signed up for. And so we got to try to figure it out. And we can't let the player think too far ahead. It's just a day in, day out process.
Hey,
I'd be remiss if – go ahead, Todd.
No,
you got it, Todd.
So understandably, we all know you're going to be a free agent next year. So I got a couple options for you. Just tell me yes or no. All right. We got a 12-year-old Tom Javris Little League next year coming up. Big, big opportunity for you to get to Williamsport. I know you've been dreaming about it ever since. Money, I mean, we could talk money, we could talk years. You just let me know. Tom Javris Little League, 12-year-old squad, yes or no?
It's tough living in your shadow. I don't know if I'd be able, if I'm good enough, honestly. So I'm gonna have to probably pass on that one. It's
No,
too
but
big of a job.
hear me out here. You'll
Hear
be
me
the
out.
manager. I'll coach third, and it'll be all on me to make the calls, the guy around third base, and you can yell at me. The parents will love every second of it.
The worst coach you can have is someone that wants your job, and I feel like you would want my job every step of the way. So I think I
I
might
do.
be out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Good stuff. I enjoy that. I enjoy that. I know you're not thinking about free agency, but there's going to be a time where you're going to have to. I know it's Marlins right now, but there's going to be a bunch of opportunities for you. You don't even have to say a word. I just know it's going to be exciting off season for you as well.
Well, I'm grateful for the one of the 30 jobs I have right now, and I got to figure out how to get this thing right. I'm not looking to New Jersey just yet, but we'll see what happens.
All right,
Enough said.
so if New Jersey's out, there's no professional teams. Tom's River is the closest to a professional team that you can get. But in the offseason, when they approached you about not having, not extending you after manager of the year, when they approached you about like not even having the hook that's left, how did that make you feel in the sense of like comparing it to getting released from a team as a player? Because that's all me and Todd can like associate with like, oh, getting released. Oh, they didn't think I was good enough. How did that feel for you? You're manager of the year. You're the best manager in the National League. You took your team to the playoffs, and now this team doesn't want you back in the same. You guys couldn't agree to come back in the same realm for past this season.
Yeah, I think those as you know, Kratzy, those are pretty private conversations between myself and ownership and that type of thing. And uh, Bruce Sherman has been fantastic to me. So it was never about me not wanting to be here, or contracts fell apart or that type of stuff. I think more than anything was just there's a new president coming in, that we have to build a relationship, and figure out if we can do this together. Peter has been really great to me. Bruce and his family have always been really great to me. The owner of the Marlins. So all that stuff always works out and plays out, right? Just like free agency as a player. The same thing is in my seat that if I'm not doing my job, they won't want me back anyways. That's just how it works. I remember Tony La Russa told me a long time ago that he took 1-year deals all the time because he didn't want to feel like the club was handcuffed, and he wanted the club to want him back as well. So again, we'll see. I'm a free agent, just like there are players free agents, and there's always time will tell what's going to happen. But I will have to say that there was no like real hard feelings, or never got personal or anything like that. I've been grateful to. This was my first year getting this job as a manager. So I learned a lot through the year, learning a lot this year, and then the contract's the contract. We'll see what happens.
Hey, I'm going to finish it with this. So remember you made fun of the travel bag I had back in the day? And you ended up buying me the travel bag. I still use that travel bag for today, just so you know. It's golden. I don't know where you
Louis
got
Vuitton?
that bag from.
What is
I
it?
need it. What?
What was the bag? What was the bag, Todd?
I don't remember. I
Was
think
it
it's all
JanSport?
Might have been a Samsonite or something. Either way. How old is Brody now?
Brody's 16, committed to TCU. It's kind of a crazy journey. It's been a fun ride to watch him grow up.
Now, my last question to you, and you can make this real quick. Are we going to see a Brody Skip kind of LeBron James Bronny thing, like wherever you go, he's got to go thing deal, or what?
No, listen. I don't have that good much pull in the game like Braun does, so
You
there's
do.
no chance that's going to happen in my seat. That'd be pretty funny though.
It's a good attempt.
That would be
It's a
great.
good attempt. Skip, this was awesome catching up with you, me, and the two clowns. Appreciate the time as always, man. Finish strong this weekend, and then enjoy the break. And let's talk about Manscaped. So we're gonna be at All-Star festivities. Kratz, I feel like you should run the ship here, as I'll mix in, of course, the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the whole deal. You're suddenly joining the facial hair crew, so this does apply to you a little bit more than ever. There's more maintenance that is needed.
This is why I started growing out a beard. And I was in Georgia for a week, and I wasn't around my wife, and I came back, and she was like, I love it. I really do. So now I have my Manscaped, all the stuff that I can, tighten up the edges. I can look like AJ and have a nice jawline when I have actual no facial structure. So this is tremendous for me. This is perfect timing.
Yeah.
Look at that beard. Look at AJ's beard. We don't hear Scott, but your beard is tremendous.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Kratz. If I only had Manscaped, because Scott stole mine, then I could really, it's kind of like let go recently. So like if only Scott would not steal my stuff from my house, then maybe I could use it and get tightened up a little bit. Still can't hear Scott. This is the best show ever. This is great now.
Scott is here for the visual candy, which Manscaped gives us, because we are not quite Scott's stature, but we have visual candy.
I'm here. I just wanted to. I didn't really want to talk. It was one of those situations where I just wanted people to see the crispness of the beards for everyone. Anyway, the LED lights are there for you as well on the trimmer, and you have the entire package featuring the Shed travel bag. The boxers are highly recommended. The body wash, the whole deal. It's kind of like an all-in-one for the dudes out there to get the Manscaped new buff bundle. So join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer, 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code FOUL20, FOUL20. It's summertime over at Manscaped, and we'll be right back with Spencer Strellenbach from the Atlanta Braves. We're rolling with guests today. What's up, FT fam? That was fun. Braun, Kratz, Brzezinski, we're real. We're still here. We're going over our little partnership with AG1, a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support. It's backed by multiple research studies, so you can trust what you're putting in your body. I am holding something that you can get a free 1-year supply of if you sign up at drinkag1.com/foul. That's the vitamin D3K2. We're right here.
It's almost done. I need to get the rest of my...
It is not even close to almost done. What are you talking about? It's literally right here.
No, the label. It's like... Okay.
No.
It's going to be done.
Okay. This should last you a while, though. So you should be doing probably one droplet. I got to look. Yeah, one droplet.
Yeah, there's lines on there.
Yeah.
Tell
your family to stop stealing your AG1.
Yes, they definitely were stealing it, but these are not.
Ooh, wow.
How many you got left there, AJ?
I need more. I got 3 left. I'm gonna need more because I'm on the road again next week, so I'm gonna need somebody to send me some more.
I'll bring you some. I'll bring my buddy AJ.
You got a nice.
He bought me a hat, so I'll bring him some ale.
You got a nice stash.
I think I have 7 left in the house, so I need more. So Scott, get on it.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Well, I'll let everyone know, unlike other products, which only test their ingredients in isolation, AG1 tests their formula as a whole. So we recommend AG1 for whole body health, and we continue our partnership with them. You can start your journey with AG1 by getting a 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 for free, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs when you make your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul. They'll throw that in there for you. Again, it's drinkag1.com/foul. We're swinging right back on FT, and Ken Rosenthal is joining us soon.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.